Well, the first game of the season is coming up, Syracuse against Vermont. Hello, everyone. I'm Adam Gotkin, your Citrus TV men's lacrosse beat reporter, joined by head coach of the Vermont Catamounts, Chris Feifs. And first off, coach, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me. Great to be here. Very excited about this game.
Well, coach, so I want to start off talking a little bit about your team last season. It was an interesting year for you guys. You start off playing a close game against Syracuse. You beat a ranked Boston University team, go on a little bit of a drought, and then go undefeated in American East play, and then lose in the first round of the tournament. I mean, a real roller coaster of emotions last year. How much does that ending of the season and just kind of the promise that you guys showed all throughout give you motivation coming into this year?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. I mean, we had a ton of juice last year. We were very excited about the schedule. Obviously, opening up with Syracuse is a very special honor to have, and our guys get really excited about this game, and it just gives us a lot of excitement going into the season, and also really allows us to focus in the offseason on preparing for such a high-end opponent. Last year was a roller coaster of emotions. Certainly, there's a lot of really high highs and a few lows as well. But ultimately, for us, the injuries caught up to us. We had a lot of injuries. That was a kind of uncharacteristic year for that. And, 5 ACL tears later, we kind of sputtered to the finish line. So, the way that kind of helped, or so the way that affected our team and the way the season ended was really, in some ways, a good thing because it really motivated our younger guys and some of our unexperienced players to attack their off-season training, really get focused with, sharpening up their skills and coming in with the opportunity to earn a starting role in this team and really build the foundation for what I see as the future of the program with a lot of young guys and a lot of new faces on the field.
And one of those guys who got hurt early on in the season was Jonas Hunter. I mean, he had pretty much a dream start to the year. 2 goals against Syracuse, 5 against Boston University before his injury. I mean, how much of a breakout year are you expecting from him if he can stay healthy all throughout? And just how important is he for your team this year?
I mean, he's enormous. I mean, he's a captain of our team, unanimously voted. And he's just an unbelievable leader. And obviously, you want your ex-attackman to be the straw that stirs the drink for your offense. But Jonas is a guy that is really a heartbeat in our locker room. And a lot of guys look to him. He's played since he was a freshman, even as a midfielder. He's been on the field in all of our biggest games, and a guy that a lot of coaches want, and that he can beat poles. It's hard to find offensive players at this level that can beat a close defenseman or an LSM, and Jonas has that ability. So, we're certainly going to rely on him heavily, but most of all, his leadership is what we're going to need because we have a lot of new faces and new places, and his experience kind of calms everybody down.
And another guy on your team who's got a lot of experience, Patrick Murphy, a preseason honorable mention All-American at the defensive midi position. How important do you think he's going to be in this game against Syracuse? Because, you look at the orange and you just see 5, 10 offensive middies who can really just kind of dominate games at times. You got the Princeton transfers coming in. How important is he going to be if your team has a chance in this game?
Well, Pat, he's going to be very important to answer your question. I mean, his biggest attribute, not only is he, 6'6" and got super long arms, but he's a type of short stick that you don't always have to slide to. And in games like Syracuse, you're going to have to slide a lot more than normal opponents with how quickly they move the ball and how high their skill level is. And Patrick's a guy that can, maybe slow some of those slides and maybe slow some of those rotations with how effective he is as an on-ball defender. But as I said about Jonas, the thing that I really value with Pat is he kind of helps us orchestrate our off-ball defense. And a lot of short sticks at this level, they're used to playing the ball and then they kind of go silent when they're off ball. Pat is so good with his verbal and nonverbal communication to the rest of the defense. And being not only a huge guy, but being a very experienced guy, he brings a lot of confidence to the defense and allows us to maybe settle into a game a little quicker against a team like Syracuse, who, as you said, can come at you in a variety of ways, and they're very, very dangerous.
Is it at all much more difficult to prepare for a game like this first of the season when Syracuse has so many newcomers on the offensive end? Of course, you have the returners, but again, you have those Princeton guys coming in. You have the freshman Trey Deer. How difficult is it just to prepare for the first game?
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to lack energy. You're not going to lack enthusiasm. Those are things that every coach wants to see their team flying around and playing at their highest level of speed. but there's going to be a feeling out process as the game goes on. What we can do defensively, matchups, and things of that nature. Obviously, Joey Spallina at X has come a long way since our first game last year. He's going to be deadly. He's such a great orchestrator of their offense. So, there's going to have to be some kind of learning on the fly. But as I said, I think we're going to have great enthusiasm. Vermont lacrosse, and we'll just adjust as the game goes on. And I'm really confident that we have a solid group back there.
And you said at the beginning how exciting it is to play a team like Syracuse to start the season. This is only the third all-time meeting between these two teams, one of them being last year. What is it about playing Syracuse? What is it about playing against Coach Gate that kind of makes this game so special for you?
Man, well, I would say that, lacrosse has been the biggest, impactful thing in my life outside of my parents, and that it brings a lot of people together that you would never have the opportunity to meet. And lacrosse is, a community that is a very tight-knit community. And, we all grew up, honoring or, idolizing guys like Gary Gate. And so to stand on the other sideline from him is special, but to do it in a venue like the Dome, where some of the greatest lacrosse games that ever have been played at the collegiate level have taken place, it's an amazing experience. It's a once in a lifetime experience. And now that I get to do it for the third time, I got to say that the enthusiasm, the excitement doesn't wear off. It gets even more exciting every year. So it's very special for our team. It's very special for our coaching staff. But when that first whistle blows, we got to focus on ourselves and try to play good lacrosse and not let the moment kind of get to our head.
And how do you not let it get to your head? Because, it's not easy to look up and you see so many national championship banners to face a top 10 team in the country. How does your team stay motivated and believe in themselves that, they can come in and win this game?
Well, one thing that kind of galvanizes us at Vermont is just the underdog mentality. We train in, we're the northernmost Division I school in the country, and we train in very adverse conditions. And so we take a lot of pride in almost overtraining our team and understanding that if we're going to be able to compete with a team like Syracuse, we have to be a sum of our parts and we have to work together because they do have so much individual talent. So, going into that moment, I think when that first whistle blows, we're going to fall back on our training, which is, practicing at 6 a.m. all fall, 6 days a week, and playing in the snow today and yesterday and 0-degree temperatures. Those physical challenges that we endure every day, I think prepare us mentally for those moments. And young guys are going to be young guys. You can't teach experience, but as a head coach and as the staff that I'm fortunate to have, we really try to say, listen, guys, we're an underdog here, and we got to stick together if we want to get this done.
And just to start your season like this, how important is it, for a team like you? Because, you're not going to be playing necessarily teams at that caliber of Syracuse. I mean, the American East is still great on lacrosse, but, not necessarily top 10 team after top 10
Yeah.
team. How does it prepare you going into the rest of the season, going into conference play to start off against such a powerhouse?
Yeah, well, I think all coaches, I can't say all coaches, but a lot of coaches really want to figure out who they are early in the season. And when you go against a team like Syracuse, they're going to find all the holes in the dam. They're going to find all the weaknesses in your team, and they're going to expose them, and they're going to make it a painful experience, one that you remember when you do have those breakdowns or you do make those mistakes. They're not going to let you off the hook easy. So I really enjoy it because it tells us, what our team is made of, what we need to fix. So hopefully by the time we get to conference play, when we go against teams that maybe know our personnel better and kind of know our reputation and how we play, we have a better idea of what we need to, change or alter from a year-to-year basis to give ourselves the best chance in conference. So I'm super fortunate to have Coach Gate allow us to play them, because it really allows us to rip the Band-Aid off and see through clear eyes who we are as a team.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Coach, and good luck in the season opener.
Awesome. Thank you, Adam.